Welcome back to my channel. It is Alpha J Fitness and Gaming, and today I'm going to be talking about something that everyone I know is just excited for, or at least anybody that's a fan of Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I want to talk about what we know about the game, things I'm looking forward to, things that may change before the game's release, and just my hopes for the future of the Call of Duty franchise. Anyways, sit back and enjoy. So Call of Duty Modern Warfare will be releasing on October 25th, 2019. Like the game last year, that's about 2 weeks prior to when they would normally release Call of Duties. Many of the Call of Duties in the past have released either the first or second week in November, and I'm really glad that they've been releasing it a couple weeks earlier recently. Not that that makes a huge difference, but when you're really hyped up about a game, especially something with a title like Modern Warfare, that extra 2 weeks really counts. I don't know about you guys. The first change, and perhaps one of the biggest ones in Call of Duty history, is the feature of crossplay in Call of Duty. Yes, that's right, PS4, Xbox One, and PC players will all be able to play together. Not only that, there's rumors of an input-based matchmaking system, to where if somebody's using keyboard and mouse, they're more likely to be put on games with PC players and other keyboard and mouse users, so they don't have a clear advantage over the controller users. Same thing with controller. If you want to play with the controller on a PC, it's rumored that you'll be able to play with console players and have aim assist, so you're not at a clear disadvantage over the people on PC. I think this is really great, so that eliminates the chance of people having huge advantages or disadvantages, and it keeps the playing field pretty even. Also, everyone I'm sure is excited for this. There is going to be no season pass this year. Free DLC for everybody, and what that means is there's going to be no split player base. Everybody will have the same DLC when it comes out. I believe PS4 still gets it a week before Xbox One, but come on, that's not a huge deal. I know, it sucks for you guys, but it's better than not getting it at all because you don't have a season pass, I can say that much. Microtransactions have not been talked about really, but from rumors and things I've heard, it's supposed to be cosmetic only. I think we all agree that we want it to stay that way. I'm sorry, I don't want to pay for a $30 hammer. I don't want to have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars just to get a weapon that's locked behind a supply drop. Like, come on. You guys can stick to that, I know you can. If you can hear me from the developers. I know no developer's probably going to watch this because I'm a tiny YouTuber, but whatever. It's worth saying anyways in case they do. Moving on to more about the game, we are going back to the 3 core game modes that we're used to: Campaign, Multiplayer, and Spec Ops. There's rumors about more, but that's all you know is going to be in the game so far. Spec Ops, we know nothing about. They've said that it's there, and that's all they've said about Spec Ops as a whole. I'm not normally a campaign player, but the campaign this year really, just from what I've heard, is going to blow me away, and I will for sure be playing it. The developers have said that this is a contemporary modern warfare game where they're focusing on modern terrorism. There's Russia, there's the US, there's freedom fighters, and, you know, terrorists, you know, stuff that really is dealt with in the real world today. And there's a huge focus on the realism. There's no glorification, the good guy versus bad guy, where America's the heroes. There's really hard choices to be made, and the whole goal of this campaign is to make you feel uncomfortable. It's trying to put you in that situation. It's trying to show the real feeling behind being in war. And obviously, I've never served myself, so I don't know what war is actually like. I'm sure there's tons of people that could tell you. It's not some gung-ho, I'm a hero type of person, from what I've heard and people that I know. And it's really trying to capture that feeling of uncomfortable choices, doing things you might necessarily regret later on, and how your choices really affect how this story is going to play out. And it just, overall, just gruesome, bloody, and no glorification about it whatsoever, which I think is amazing. As far as multiplayer goes, there is a lot to be excited about. Starting with player counts in games, there is 2v2, 6v6, 10v10, and even 20v20. And there's rumors for more, but that's what's been in the game and the builds that we've seen so far. The game's going to include all your standard game modes that we're used to: domination, team deathmatch, search and destroy, the things that we've seen in all the Call of Duties from years past. But the 2v2 mode is something called Gunfight, where there's no health regeneration. Both teams, it's almost Rainbow Six Siege-like, where it's tactical and you need to take out the enemies really quickly. Cyber Attack is a new game mode. It's kind of a twist on Search and Destroy, where you're trying to plant this EMP or bomb, except you can revive your teammates. And it's a round base just like Search and Destroy, and it's just another interesting thing that's going to be really cool for competitive. The 20v20s I'm really excited for. It's a huge open map, and for domination there's 5 flags, there's vehicles that you can drive around, and they've only showcased 1 map. I'm not sure if there's more, sorry, but it feels and looks really like Battlefield, and I'm excited for that because I've always loved the open, beautiful worlds of Battlefield, but I love the smooth gunplay of Call of Duty, and seeing those two things come together is really awesome in my opinion. Also, there's a game mode called, I think it's called Realism Mode, where you get the night vision goggles. There's no HUD or anything like that. It's kind of like hardcore, people drop in one shot. I'm not too familiar with that game mode. I don't think that I'll be playing it a lot, but for those that are hardcore and really like to feel like they're in a real battle situation, I think you're really going to like that one. There's a lot of talk and a lot of rumors about a potential Battle Royale game mode. There's been no confirmation on it whatsoever, but personally I think it would be really exciting, and it just adds another game mode to the game that would give you something to do when you're bored with maybe the other three, because I don't know about you guys, but no matter how much I love a game, I always want to try something new and something more exciting, and a Battle Royale mode would definitely be something that I would play casually to just, you know, goof around with my friends and see if I can get that victory royale. More about multiplayer, they have completely eliminated the pick 10 system, and I am very excited for this, and let me tell you why. Picking attachments on your guns no longer affects the amount of perks you can have and what perks you need to choose. You have your standard primary slot, secondary slot, 3 perks, lethal, and a tactical, but there's a new feature called Gunsmith where you can completely customize your gun. Not only that, you can do it on the fly during games as well. Every weapon in the game will have between 30 and 60 attachments that you can completely take apart and recustomize your gun to the situation that you want it to work for. Take an AK-47 for example. You can throw a long barrel on it, a solid stock, a drum mag, and maybe put an ACOG on top, and essentially you have an RPK. I believe you can even change the caliber of these weapons to make them work for what you want them to do. Same thing if you wanted to make it smaller. You can take the stock off, put an extended mag on it, shorten that barrel, put a red dot, and you essentially have an AK-74U. And if you can change the caliber on it too, you'd have the same caliber gun as the AK-74U. I'm not sure if that part is true, but I've heard rumors about it, and I'm just really excited to be able to completely make my gun custom to what I want it to do, and be able to change it on the fly during a match based on the opponents that I'm facing. Another thing that I'm excited about for multiplayer is that we are going back to kill streaks. Yes, no more score streaks. No more wondering how many kills or how many objectives or how many this you need to get the streak that you're looking for. 4 kills, I get my UAV, or 3 or whatever it is. It is a set number and you don't have to stray away from it, and I love that. This kind of brings me into the next thing that I want to talk about, which is the actual gameplay itself. Infinity Ward have decided to eliminate the 3-lane map structure. We're going back to the old school style where there's power positions, there's climbs, there's things you want to get to. You can hold down buildings with 2 people and feel like you're unstoppable. Also, a really bold move on Infinity Ward's part, which I'll talk about a little bit later on in the video as well, they have eliminated the mini-map. Yes, that's right, no more red dot chasing. I don't think this one's going to work out, but I think it's really interesting, and if it does, it's really going to change it up on the pro players or even the casual players, because I know myself, I'm really guilty of red dot chasing on that mini-map and not being able to do so and having to pay attention to sounds. I think sound hoarding is going to be a huge thing in this game if they don't decide to add it back in. Also in multiplayer, doors open and close. Yes, I know that sounds really stupid and tiny, but think about it. No more throwing grenades in rooms and blowing up everybody on the domination point. That door has to be open first. It's definitely going to change the pace, and it's going to add a new level of strategy to multiplayer, along with their new feature, gun mounting. Almost every surface in the game, be it a corner, a wall, or laying down on the ground, or any sort of surface that you can mount your gun on, you can, as well as leaning around corners too, which I'm really excited for. Also, they have real ballistics in this game instead of hit scanning now. So materials and bullet timing and bullet drop are things that you're going to have to take into account. Obviously not in close quarters because it's pretty close and bullets travel really fast, but things like shooting through materials. If somebody's using an LMG and you're hiding behind a wooden wall or a little piece of wood, you're going to know because you're still going to get hit, which I am really excited for because it's realistic, it makes it more fun, and it just adds more depth to the game that we've never had in the past. Another small side note about the game, the time to kill is on point in my opinion. It's very similar to Modern Warfare 3 or Ghosts, kind of in between there. It's very quick, but it's not too quick to where you can't react and do things. They're still being able to turn on people, but it's not this Black Ops 4 crap where you shoot somebody 20 times and they've only lost half their health and they ran on the wall and healed. Like, no, you're going to drop people pretty fast, but not so fast to where you think you're getting killed with one shot with a pistol. On to my last little topic for this video, which is going to be things that will make or break the game for me. Now, I know that I am most definitely not in the minority when saying that microtransactions in modern Call of Duty have gotten ridiculous and out of hand. In short, I think that all microtransactions should only be cosmetic and not just for the first few months of the game, and any game-altering DLC that they put into this game should not be locked by supply drops whatsoever. That is unfair to the player base and really just terrible for the community in general. Now, don't get me wrong. In no way do I discourage putting new weapons into the game. Don't think I'm saying that. I'm saying that the weapons that are put into this game should be earnable by everybody and not for a limited amount of time. In the past, we've had ways to earn weapons in Call of Duty, but it took such an absurd amount of time and grinding that anybody with a life outside of Call of Duty was almost unable to get those weapons. I have a full-time job and a relationship to attend to outside of this game, so when I start something and want to be able to earn a weapon, I should not have to worry that if I don't play this weekend, I'm not going to be able to earn that weapon because the time limit's going to end. I believe all DLC weapons should be relatively challenging, but attainable by everybody at any time, and once they're in the game, you always have a chance to earn them if you complete said task. I think that's fair to everybody, and then it discourages, people missing out on their real life just to make sure that they get this weapon before it goes away. Now, I'm not naive to the fact that microtransactions are completely inevitable. It's in every game in the world now, but as long as it's cosmetic, I don't care. I don't care if I have blue tiger camo and I can't get it unless I get it through a supply drop. That doesn't affect the gameplay. Make microtransactions an option, not a necessity to enjoy your game experience. Another big thing that I'm hoping for in this game is a steady flow of content that's interesting and relevant, and something that's really going to spark interest each time it's released. Black Ops 4 has been kind of dull with that. I wasn't a huge fan of the Zombies DLC. Their multiplayer DLC was kind of poop in my opinion, and just really, they didn't capture my attention. They didn't release things that were like, wow, yeah, I need to go play that. I'm so excited. I'm going into Call of Duty this year really optimistic, mostly because we're going back to a classic title, a classic sounding game, a classic looking game, and a game that we've all been asking for a really long time. Obviously, there's going to be things to complain about when the game comes out, but as long as the positives outweigh the negatives, I think this year is going to be amazing for Call of Duty. I'm really excited. I'll be covering more and more things as the game gets closer to launch, and I'll be making tons of videos during the beta, tons of videos when the game actually comes out. This is my year for Call of Duty. This is everybody's year for Call of Duty. We're back to our roots, and for all you people that haven't experienced it, you're gonna be in for a ride, trust me. Thank you for watching my video. Stay tuned for more content, and yeah, till next time.